everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, our weekly podcast hosted by Natalie McFarland, me, and founder and president of McFarland Productions, and Scout Foster, our outreach marketing manager. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films, and of course, invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday, episode 34, I think I just said. Today we're going to talk about how to market to rural America and like some of the general things you should be thinking about. I don't like the things general, right? Because we just talked about that in a recent episode. But some of the things you should think about as you're marketing to this specific population, this industry from Western or ag perspective, or even like outdoor hunting, fishing kind of community, right? So anything that happens in rural America. What are some of the things that you should be thinking about? Scout, you and I talked a little bit about your notes before the episode, but I think let's start there. Handy dandy notebook.
Should I do some ASMR?
Yeah, the tapping. Please.
Stop.
Nobody do that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Can we all just sign a petition to quit doing shit like that?
Yeah.
Can I say that? I don't know if you have to put
I wish
that
we
as
would have put
explicit.
this. I wish we would have put this in the general, like why general advice doesn't work episode. But this ASMR, like I don't need this as ASMR. Like ASMR should be
Cool.
that. This is ASMR. This
Like
is
natural
not.
sounds.
Yeah.
That's not a natural sound. ASMR, like we're on like a gravel roads
Yes.
kick right now because I want that crunchy, like it takes me like
Tires on a
country
gravel
roads
road.
take me home. You know what I mean, or whatever the
that.
the place I belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't freaking want people going like pss, 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 pss in the microphone anymore. Stop doing that.
That's not ASMR. That's you doing weird noises. ASMR is supposed to be like
That's you being a weirdo.
sounds. It's like sounds that happen naturally, right? But if you're
Right.
like, okay, we're really off topic. Back to marketing to rural America. Do real ASMR. Maybe that's the first thing, right? Like,
We should maybe do a podcast episode on that.
yeah, like I feel like if you're gonna put a soundscape in, make it a real soundscape. Don't just download it from somewhere either, right? Like, record the thing.
That really just grinds my gears when people are in like Yellowstone. I'm using Yellowstone as in like I don't remember this in Yellowstone. I didn't watch Yellowstone really, but like in like ranching, horse related cows, like rodeo movies and
They're
stuff.
like whinnying, but the whinny sound is like clearly in a barn and they're like in a pasture.
Also,
Like the sound is different.
Also, sometimes like, okay, this actually is something that really just, I will walk out of the movie theater. When in like rodeo, specifically bull riding, I'm very critical of this. Lane is even more critical than I am for obvious reasons, but like they'll like overlay like a bellow or something sound, you know what I mean? And I'm like, they're not doing that.
Mm-mm.
And if they
That's
are,
not real.
You don't want them to. Like, that annoys me in real life when they actually do it. I definitely don't want you to put it in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, give me some bell ringing or like chute slamming open or like something that actually. This
or
is totally
like
off
the
topic.
noise they make in the chute. You know, sometimes like
that. Okay, this
give
actually
me something recorded on site.
This is actually leading into marketing in rural America because I wrote down. My number 3 note is authenticity is not optional. And it is absolutely not in.
Yeah. So our silly little bit about don't tap your water bottle really tied in. No, I actually 100% agree. Like, I hate it when like, I don't know, like, okay, you're walking through a Powder River gate, right? So metal gate with chain on it, but it does like this wood barn squeak. Not a metal hanger squeak. And like I can clearly tell that it was not that gate that you pulled that from. Or like when sound effects are too loud, right? Like you laid it in, but it was like, I don't know, 30 yards the other direction. So it should have been like way distant. Yeah. Terrible.
This is really funny. This is why you need a marketing agency who lives the lifestyle.
Yes.
Just kind of a shameless plug there.
Yeah. Use somebody who gets it. In any industry, right? Like, I don't want to market marathons because I'm not
running a marathon. I am not
right?
running a
Yeah,
marathon.
and like I know there's marathoners who are also in the Western world and that kind of thing. Like, I get that there's people who do both, but my point is like I don't know the nuances of like I know some runners drink like pickle juice in order to prevent like cramping, right? Like that's a very nuanced thing that would be very specific to the running industry. But it's the same thing in rural America, right? Like maybe don't have an elk bugling in early summer, spring. Like it's the wrong time. Right? You need to know those nuances in order to get it right.
You have to know those nuances because your audience does.
Absolutely.
And they will
spot it from a mile away. I feel like this is we've probably talked about this before, but so apparent in military related movies, right? Mm-hmm. The number of times they have like the wrong patches on the wrong uniform or like the wrong ranking name for the wrong branch of the service. Like, please, 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 for the love of everything, hire someone from the military or like a retired military veteran to be a consultant.
Yeah.
Like, stop me from doing dumb things. That's
really
what you want.
Of the US of A.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
same thing in rural America.
Country.
Yeah. Same thing in rural America.
I think, but to be fair, I think that both of those are, I don't want to say they're small communities, but like, if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. Do you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't necessarily catch the military ones because I don't.
You're not from a military family or not military yourself. Sure.
Right.
But
so
you're going
to
tick off the tons and tons of active military and veterans who, or families of, right, who do know.
But I don't understand, like, why. Okay, I'm just going to, say it's Hollywood. Like, I'm just going to bucket it and be like, I don't know why Hollywood has such a problem with being correct.
Yeah. And this happens too. Like, one of my favorite examples of this is Victoria's Secret. This is quite a few years ago now, but Victoria's Secret did a campaign that was Western themed.
I've never seen this.
First of all, the fact that I had to say Western themed already makes me want to gag a little bit, but it's Western themed. All of the models had their hats on backwards.
No.
Beyonce recently did her album cover with no saddle pad. Right? Like, these are things that, like...
Was that... Okay, but was that... this is something I really don't know. Whose horse was that?
I think it was AI generated. I don't think she was actually on that horse.
That was my next question. Like, was that AI or, like, that's someone's horse somewhere? Why weren't they like, where's your saddle pad for the saddle? You know what I mean? Like, why was it like somebody there should have known. Someone
should have thrown the flag before poor Beyonce got ripped to the shreds on the internet.
I don't know if she cares, but like,
did create a lot of chatter, I suppose. So sometimes those mistakes actually you could spin them into.
They do say like, bad press is still press, you know. Like they are saying that these days still.
Yeah.
I do think it was probably AI generated. I don't obviously.
I read somewhere that it was. I'm not 100% on that, but okay, that's a great point too. AI, if you're using it in rural America marketing, right? Whether it's hunting, fishing, Western, rodeo, ag,
They are going to get it wrong.
wrong,
Way
incorrect.
wrong.
Yeah, incorrect on a frequent basis.
Yes.
So
And you will
don't,
look not very smart.
yeah, don't entirely rely on AI for your social captions, for your image and graphics, for any of that stuff. Really, in any niche business, niche industry, but rural America's not the place to do it.
I agree. I think this aligns with I took some notes on this, which is kind of unlike me, but I feel like the notes that I take podcasts on go way better. Like I say much more profound things than if I don't take notes and I just wing it.
Scout's notes are profound, is what we're saying. Is that your rooster notepad?
Yeah, to doodle do. Anyways, I wonder what's on this side of it. Nothing about this podcast, that's for sure.
Okay, what's another one of your points?
Reflect their values and life experiences, and I feel like that goes back to having someone as a consultant at the bare minimum to help you.
Ideally, hire the right people who already get it. If you don't hire the right people who already get it, hire the consultant to make sure they get it.
Right. That. But I just think, like, this is something to me that, like, really speaks to people who live in rural place. I was going to say rurally, but that doesn't feel like an actual word.
It sounds like unruly, but that might be it.
Right. People who live in, like, rural areas, I feel like I am grouping this as a general thing, and I know we tend to be a little bit more intentional by it, but I've lived this, and with my own two eyes and experiences and things, I can say that I think most people who live in rural areas carry the same morals and values.
For the most part.
There are outliers. That is not a 10 out of 10 times. It's not 100% of the time. That is just, like, I think a majority. You could
probably put a 70-30 on it pretty easy.
Yes.
You maybe could push it more than that. But.
Can you hear the office dogs?
No.
Okay. Anyways, we have two.
Mine's asleep under my desk. So.
Oh, I love that. We have two chocolate labs in the office. Not my personal dogs, but I was just wondering if you could hear them. It's not a big deal if you can. They were making me laugh a little.
Cute.
Anyways, I think when you show up like your audience, when they can relate to you or feel like this was made strictly for them, like if we use Yeti a lot, and like I'm a Yeti customer, like I am a Yeti customer at Yeti. If you know, how many times can we say Yeti for it to show up in their search or something?
Google a Google
keyword,
alert, hopefully it will show up.
Yeti.
They do a great job. I'm a Yeti fan too.
But like if they were to publish something, I don't know, like this could be literally anything. I don't have like a specific example, but like if they were to post something and I'm scrolling and I stop I'm not scrolling because I'm off social media, so this is really very theoretical stuff I'm talking about. If I'm scrolling and I see it and I'm like, oh my God, this speaks to like my heart, my soul, my values, my morals, like this is completely 100% about me.
Mm-hmm. I talk about their Paniolo film all the time.
Mm-hmm. Let me just plug it one more time because I'm thirsty. Anyways, yeah, like a lot, and not everything they post speaks to me on such a deep level, but a lot of it does, and I will be a Yeti customer until the end of time, until they completely change their values and like until they change their like
If
product
if they
longevity,
just
like
throw it out the window and it's completely
right,
different. Yeah.
right. And to be fair, I don't know all of their values and like things that they stand on, but like
Sure.
I know
Me
enough
neither.
of it. Yeah, I don't know. And but I know enough of it just because of the people that they work with and the places that they show up that it
Mm-hmm.
aligns with, like, I don't know, my values, I guess, for lack of better words.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
I think that like a lot of companies do a really good job of that. Like I think the takeaway from this is be somebody and be accurate about it, right? So like
like
if
have
you're
a leg
gonna
to stand on, I feel like.
yeah, so if you're gonna be a company that provides products for rural America or outdoors or Western or rodeo or ag, be that person.
I want you to have like some skin in the game, I guess.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Be truly part of that in some way because you can miss things pretty bad if you don't really get it.
Um, Another one I wrote down is earning trust, which I feel like kind of goes in with like
That's being
reflect,
authentic, but I also
right?
think it's being human, right? So
Right.
this is the other thing that can happen. Like we talk about our internal derogatory term for only selling to people, you know, from like a marketing perspective as here buy this culture. Like that's not being human. It's not going to build trust with anybody. You're just basically saying like I need you to pay for this thing and that's all I care about.
Doesn't build trust because you don't really show who you are at all. You just show what you have.
Yeah.
And that's really actually just not even a good, like, I'm not going to relate to you because of what you have. You know what I mean? Even if I have the
There's
same thing.
yeah, and be like people have a lot of depth. Individuals
Hmm.
have a lot of depth in their personality, right? Like sure I'm a marketing professional in rural America and serving brands that live outdoors. Not to plug uh our new tagline, but um yes, I'm that, but I'm also a pilot. I also really love to swim. I have two dogs that are I love every bit of having dogs. I cannot live without them. We hunt elk. I prefer archery over rifle hunting. Like I have such a depth as a person, right? Same for you, same for every person across the planet. So I think when you're creating your brand's personality online, I'm not saying serve a bunch of different things, but feel like a human in the sense that you are multi-layered. So there is a particular company in the Western and ag space who pretty much only publishes one paragraph or some snippet of that paragraph about who they are. That has created a lot of distrust for that particular brand in this industry, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm
the
laughing.
like we're kind of a good old boys club. I kind of need
Yeah.
to know you, right? And
Well,
I think that's good and bad in our industry, and I think it's true of any industry really. Like I have to know that you are one of us for me to trust you. And that's true of every industry.
I, I, we agree on this, and I'm just going to further this point, but I am going to put like a disclaimer on it. I'm really into disclaimers today. I don't know why. This is like the fifth one I've had. Um, I am never for like the good old boys club because I think that there's a lot of negativity like surrounding that, and I think that you
Yeah,
cut out a lot of good people, and I think you cut out a lot of smart people
sure.
and
Good old
deserve,
boys
you know what I
club
mean?
to an extent and then
Yes.
like cut that off, right?
Yes.
Like I
I
can
think
align with the thought process and that like we want
yes.
to trust you first, but
Yes. Well, I think
don't use it as a weapon.
I think it is more so we're very loyal.
Yes.
I think maybe more so loyalty than like true definition of like
Yeah.
good old people. I
We at least shouldn't carry the skepticism that a good old boys club with Carrie, right? Like there's some inherent welcoming to our industry, or should be.
But I think in I'm gonna say in general again, um, I don't mean maybe I don't mean like in general, but maybe I just mean like in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, I think we as a ag and Western lifestyle industry, we are naturally skeptical. We do not trust a lot of people. We don't trust a lot of outsiders. And I think that will obviously never work in a company's favor when it comes to
Or an event
rural
or a rodeo
America.
or an industry.
Yeah.
Like we need people to understand the stories and want to be part of it,
We
or want to be a
also,
fan of it at least.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Have I already talked about authenticity is not optional?
I think you mentioned it, but let's be very specific there.
I think we have covered that underlying, like the
Mm-hmm.
underlying, I don't know,
The
topic in
underlying
all of
tone of
these.
this whole thing.
Yes,
The
yes,
summary
yes.
statement is be authentic
Authenticity, yeah,
or
is
perish.
incredibly
I
important.
think.
Literally. Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Some of the ways I think you can do that, are in your campaigns. And I know we talked about, before this episode started, we talked about seasonal campaigns and interactive campaigns. And you had a story that you wanted to share with me. And I said, wait, hold on. I want you to get like my true reaction to it. So I need you to tell that story now in,
Sure.
with this campaign idea.
So Kevin and I looked at acquiring a soap company, home care, body care company, primarily soaps, that focuses on simple ingredients. Their particular positioning is very anti-plastics. I think there's a time and place. But really, really good quality product, right? I bought a bunch of it because I want to know that I like the product before we actually go through this purchase. We are not purchasing this company.
Did you like the product?
I did like the product, love
Okay.
the product. Had nothing to do with the product and everything to do with just coming to a deal, right?
Mhm.
They are pretty successful. I'm not going to name them or say where they are or anything like that. But they've done a really nice job of doing bar soap for shampoo, bar soap conditioner, bar soap face soap. They do like laundry detergent, a bunch of stuff. They do like sheet laundry detergent. Anyway, fan of this company. When we were considering bringing it on, of course, as a marketer, my first thing is, okay, how am I going to expand upon their storyline so that we can reach a larger population, grow it, and push the company forward, right? When Kevin and I are considering buying companies, we're looking at companies who have great products, have a great initial base, but they don't have great marketing. So I'm always looking for that. That's because that's our edge, right? That's our competitive edge. So one of the things that I thought about with this soap company was that they really liked to serve and seemed to do a lot of business in the family space, right? So there was like soap subscription boxes that can go to that are intended for families, right? One of the things I thought about is, what if we take that packaging and in alignment with their less waste sort of feel positioning, what if we take that packaging and turn it into something that's usable beyond me shipping it to you, right? So one of the things I thought about was, what if we created the subscription box, and if you checked you had kids, right? Like, I'm gonna narrow this list down to make it make sense for the people that you're sending to. But if you're a family with young kids, you could do the subscription box like quarterly, for example, right? And each quarter the box would have a different theme. You could do like soapbox derby racing sort of feel for like early summer, right? So I'm going to include in the box the pieces that you can put together to turn this thing into a car, right? A downhill racing car for kids. And like some instructions and that kind of thing. Utilize paper in the instructions that's like plantable, right? Like the seed paper. So, okay, the kids get the box, right? They're so excited to open the box and make their soapbox car. And so they put the thing together. Now you have them interact in a virtual soapbox car derby, right?
Pop in our soapbox campaign probably should be the title or something.
Yes, that's a soapbox derby campaign, although I know you can't use that because there's an actual registered soapbox derby like thing. You would have to collaborate with them to say soapbox derby, right?
We'll have to brainstorm.
Like, there's legality there. But if you can get through all of that, call this thing like your virtual soapbox derby. Maybe you become a sponsor of the actual soapbox derby, and like the finalists get to race at the soapbox derby with the boxes that they made the soapboxes out of, right? But anyway, you create this virtual, interactive, social media based soapbox derby, and the kids have decorated it, and it's fun, right? Like, they're going to be jealous they didn't have 10 of them to share with their friends, kind of thing, right? Making the box more fun than the product. That I feel like that already happens anyway.
Cool. We are very pro like black and white branding. So you could do like black and white branded on the box, and kids could like color it in their own.
Yeah. Make it so that they can decorate it themselves. They could draw flames on it or whatever they think is cool, right? The other thing that I thought about is, okay, early spring, could you make the box into a planter, right? So you make it like a kid's window planter, right? And you include some, like, maybe some instructions about composting, right? So you can use some of your compost as soil in your thing, and you've like encouraged them to learn how to compost. But your labels, or like in the box, could be seed paper. So you could do like tomato seed paper, or whatever the thing is, right? Something that you can plant. And then you have instructions on how the kids can utilize this to grow their own tomatoes, strawberries, whatever the thing is, right? If you have lavender themed soap, use lavender seed paper, so that you can literally plant the seed paper and grow lavender in your own garden. And then you create a virtual garden where people can mark, and you won't include addresses, right? You make these pretty generalized dots to the public, so nobody's like literally marking their own home publicly. But you could have a map that shows all the places you've planted because of this soap company, right? So this soap company becomes also this virtual community garden, and gives people a reason to, like, take pictures of the first time their lavender bloomed, right, at soap company.
That's fun.
Anyway, that's really a soapbox about soapboxes. But I think the point is, like, how can you in rural America apply kind of that same interactive authenticity in ways that make sense for ag or Western or hunting or fishing or whatever?
I think it's also like holding their hand through daily life. And obviously I don't mean like the physical holding hands, but like, how can you show up in support of their lifestyle through like their one purchase? You know what I mean? Like, how can you keep popping up like, oh, I'm so thankful for this company, or like, it might not be like thankful as that could be like a fill in the blank, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, whatever, but like, oh, I'm so thankful for Soapbox, whatever the company name is, for providing my kids an hour of
crafts, entertainment, outdoor
screen
activity,
free entertainment or something, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah, I don't know. I think interactive activities and campaigns and things are almost the way that I think a lot of non-rural um, marketing is also going, but I think it is almost like even more important for those people in rural communities.
Sure. But rural
Um,
communities also, like, if you were a soap company that is maybe themed in like or it's like focusing on the Western community, right? And maybe you're like Cowboy Soap Co. I don't know. I just made that. There's probably is a Cowboy Soap Co. I'm just making up a name though for myself. But if you were Cowboy Soap Co., like how could you do a similar thing in that, right? Like maybe the soapbox turns into a tractor. I don't know, right? Like you can find ways to still do that
races
kind of
at like a
interactive.
tractor pull.
Oh, that'd be good.
That
That'd
would
be
be
good.
fun.
I like it.
We have this is interactive like online, but I don't know if we talked about this and you had like an example of this campaign, but our Tractor Supply in our town does a big buck contest every hunting season, and I think it could be countywide possibly.
I think ours is countywide. It's not with our Tractor Supply, although they might do one. I just may not know about it, but we
Do
have
you guys have Tractor Supply?
we
I
do
thought
have
you
a Tractor
had
Supply.
something different, but
We have
okay.
Co-op, Coastal, and Tractor Supply. So we have all
Coastal
three.
is what I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's like a photo submission contest for who shot like the biggest buck of hunting season. I think that's really fun. I don't know. I know there's a cash prize. I think there are other like hunting related prizes.
Yeah.
I don't know how big they are, but
Ours,
like,
one thing that's kind of cool is in ours, they require you to submit a printed image. So it ends up on the wall at one of
oh,
our,
that's fun.
like one of our local outdoor sports stores does it. It's just, they're not a chain or anything like that, but, it's so they put it up on the wall and they usually stay up there for, the year until the next set comes in. So it's kind of fun to go in there and like point out everybody,
Yeah, that is fun. I think kind of like on this topic is if you're in the ag industry, if you're in like Western related industries, your life is so seasonally ran. So if you can switch out your campaigns to hit that specific season, you're winning.
We're doing
like,
this with one that's upcoming that we'll talk about later, but we're doing that for
yeah,
somebody.
we are.
Yeah.
Late. Well, yeah, we actually are. That will be a podcast episode later.
It will
But
be a podcast
I think,
episode.
You have hunting season, you have harvest season, you have like a very small
Planting,
yeah,
spraying for that matter.
right, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. You have hay season, everybody's
yeah,
favorite.
literally my worst.
Yeah, I always need a margarita for hay season.
Mini drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like play into the season. And like I feel like most companies do play into the season, but you're right, ag in particular really like there's very seasonal changes.
Just our lifestyle, our careers, our jobs, like our livelihood depends on it might not depend on the season, but it is very seasonally driven. So
Yeah.
I think we see a lot of shifts quarterly, seasonally. Marketing
Yeah.
is also kind of planned quarterly, so it does actually have a little bit of a benefit. If
I think
you
too,
use
like
that to your
in
advantage.
ag, if you said like, hey, write me a job description for a typical day, what season? Right? Because like whether or not you're on a tractor will quarterly change as well. So your job descriptions are by quarter.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have any like action items for people who are marketing to people in those rural communities that like easy implementation, if that makes sense? I I really put you on the spot.
I think if you're from outside the industry, spend some time getting to know it. That's step one. Like, almost do nothing until you get to know it a little bit. If you are inside the industry and you're looking for a partner to market with you, like an agency like us, pick somebody who gets you and gets your audience, or gets the industry that you're within, right? So I think those are like the two things, right? Help yourself
Yeah.
by having some life experience.
I agree.
That's probably my number one thing. But as far as like marketing to rural America, be a human. Be real.
I agree. Be authentic.
Yeah. Not an
Period.
option.
Not optional.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Scout, you did this to me. What was your soft launch to Monday last week?
I'm trying to think of what we did on Sunday. I don't know what I did on Sunday. Hold on, let me look at my calendar. Let me see if that will help me out any. My days are like a little messed up since coming. Oh, I remember. My days are a little messed up since coming home from Florida. I spent like a month in Florida with my grandparents and I got back early September. But like the adjustment period, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know.
To
We're in
decide
like,
you're from Central Time again.
we're living in weird times. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Sunday I actually had nothing on my calendar, but I do remember we just laid in the pool like all day on Sunday. And I feel like that just really got my mind right for
Yeah. I
this
wish
work
I
week.
could stay the same. We're trying to threaten to turn fall here, and it would still be warm enough to swim in a pool, but
We are getting very
especially by the time
borderline.
this comes out, by the
Yeah.
time this episode comes out, it will be
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah, it will be. I don't remember when this releases, but we're recording this in mid-September, so it has to be at least an October episode. But this is probably our last month of pool swimming, and we do have a hot tub, so we'll just switch from one body of water to the next.
Perfect.
But yeah, I just swam in the pool. I did also, I recorded a podcast, the AgriMinds podcast with Casey on Monday. So I did do a little bit of like prep work for that. But I think that's it. It wasn't a very, it was a very slow Sunday.
It was a great Sunday, is what you're saying.
It was
it was a
the
reset
best,
type of Sunday.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well, I think that kind of wraps it for marketing in rural America. So thanks for joining on this episode. We hope we see you next week.